Imagine this. You give 2 decades of your life to a company. You show up early, you leave late, you hold things together when others fall apart. And then, one morning, your boss calls you into a meeting, smirks in front of the entire staff, and says you're outdated. He fires you on the spot, like you're nothing. I didn't scream, I didn't argue, I just walked out quietly. But 3 days later, let's just say he was the one begging for mercy. If you've ever been underestimated, disrespected, or thrown aside after years of loyalty, this story is for you. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and get ready for one of the most satisfying workplace revenge stories you'll ever hear. I worked at that company for 20 years. I started fresh out of college, back when the office still had dial-up internet and half the staff didn't know how to use email. I wasn't the flashiest guy in the room, but I was steady. Reliable. The kind of worker who made sure deadlines were met, clients stayed happy, and crises never became disasters. I trained new hires, I covered for sick coworkers, I solved problems before my boss even knew they existed. But over the years, things changed. New blood came in, younger people with flashy degrees and trendy buzzwords. My boss, Mark, loved them. He loved their fresh perspectives, as he always called it. And while I wasn't jealous, I mentored many of them, I noticed how his attitude toward me shifted. Suddenly, my reliability was rigidity. My consistency was lack of innovation. The breaking point came on a Tuesday morning. Mark called a team meeting. Everyone was there. I thought it was just another project update. But then, he looked right at me with that smug grin I'll never forget and said, "Some of us are stuck in the past. We need fresh perspectives. And that means letting go of what's outdated." I laughed nervously, thinking it was a bad joke. But then, in front of everyone, he pointed to me. "You're done here. Pack your things." The room went silent. My coworkers looked shocked, some even embarrassed for me. My heart sank, my face burned, but I refused to give him the satisfaction of seeing me break. I nodded, wished everyone well, and walked out. Now, here's where the story turns. Because while Mark thought he had destroyed me, he had no idea what was coming. For years, I had been quietly building relationships outside the company. Vendors, clients, partners, I had been the bridge between them and our office. They trusted me, not Mark. I was the one answering midnight calls, solving emergencies, keeping deals from collapsing. So when word got out that I was gone, my phone lit up. Clients were furious, vendors were confused, and suddenly, I realized something. I wasn't outdated. I was the glue that held everything together. On the second day after being fired, one of our biggest clients called me directly. He said, "We don't want to work with your boss anymore. We trusted you. If you start something new, we'll follow you." That night, I barely slept. My mind raced with possibilities. Fear mixed with adrenaline. Could I really do this? Could I start something on my own after 20 years of being an employee? Then I remembered Mark's smirk, his voice calling me outdated. And in that moment, fear turned into determination. On the third day, I filed the paperwork. A new company, my company. And because of those relationships, clients began transferring over almost immediately. Within weeks, I had an office space, a small but loyal team, including a few colleagues who left Mark's company to join me. Meanwhile, Mark's empire began crumbling. Clients pulled out, deadlines were missed. His fresh perspectives didn't have the experience to manage real crises. And every time his phone rang with bad news, I knew. He must have thought of me. The sweetest part, about 2 months in, Mark himself called me. His voice was shaky, desperate. He said, "Maybe we could work something out. Maybe we could collaborate." I let him talk, let him squirm. And then I told him, calmly, "I may be outdated, Mark. But even the oldest tools get the job done better than someone who doesn't know how to use them." Then I hung up. Mark lost his biggest accounts. His reputation tanked, and within a year, his company shut its doors. Meanwhile, mine flourished. The same man who humiliated me in front of the entire staff ended up as a cautionary tale in the industry. And the best part, I didn't need to scream, or fight, or even plot. All I had to do was show my true worth, and let karma do the rest. Sometimes, revenge isn't about shouting or getting even on the spot. It's about patience. It's about letting someone dig their own grave while you rise higher than they ever thought possible. And in the end, justice feels even sweeter when it comes naturally. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? And of course, subscribe for more stories like this, because trust me, we've only just begun.